Hello and welcome to another episode of Gender Corner, the space where real conversation meets real experience. I am your host, Emilia. Today we are diving deep into the dating trenches with a hot topic that is lighting up timelines and group chat. Red flag versus green flag. Navigating modern dating expectations from ghosting to gaslighting, emotional intelligence to Instagram compatibility. How do we know when to stay or run? Are we setting the bar too low or are expectations becoming unrealistic? Today we are joined by a dynamic male guest, a man who has been in the dating arena and is here to help us decode the sign. So grab your tea because this one is going to be juicy, thoughtful, and maybe even a little triggering in the best way. Before we jump into the checking list of red flag and green flag, let's pause for a second. Dating today is not just what it used to be. With shifting gender roles, online dating, mental health awareness, and social media pressure, the rules are different. So the conversation is not just about complaining or clapping back, it's about clarity. Let's unpack the pattern, ask hard questions, and hopefully we walk away with better dating tools. So you already know how we do it on Gender Corner, where we allow our guests to do us the honor by introducing themselves and telling us what they do for a living. So I will ask my guest to introduce himself to you guys.
Thank you very much, Emilia. Well, I find it hard to introduce myself when I'm being asked to because it feels like another talking stage. Anyways,
Wow.
I am Abdul Majid Suleiman,
Okay.
popularly known by my 10 followers on Instagram as MJ. I am a fashion designer. I'm into clothing, tailoring. Basically, I sew clothes, so however you want to put it. But today, I am a dating specialist.
No wonder you're looking very cute.
Yeah, I try my best to go all out when I come
Anyways, thank you for being here. I really appreciate
out.
you.
Yeah, the pleasure is all mine.
All right. I'm going to be asking you, what does red flag versus green flag, what does it mean to you?
Well, basically, these are things to look out for when they're very important, very essential when getting into a relationship, when getting involved with a person. They're very essential to look out for because these are what are going to determine how well the relationship is going to go, how long it's going to last, if it's going to be a good experience or something that turns out bitter for you.
Okay.
So it is very important to look out for these things, to be able to identify them. That's very important. Not just tag whatever you want to tag, whatever you want it to be.
Okay. So do you think people are too quick to label others as a red flag without checking their behavior first? Because when a man and a woman meet or say they go on a date and the woman order for something and maybe what she ordered for was too much, the next thing you hear is she's not the one, simply because she ordered for something that was not that, or he didn't expect her to order.
Well, definitely I feel like people are too quick to tag red flags and green flags.
Okay.
They're too quick to do that because of the whole, social media has made the whole pop psychology. Yeah, social media has made it very easy and rampant to make people easily tag things, certain things. You might find yourself in a situation where something is happening, and this might just be a momentary thing.
Okay.
But based on how much pop psychology is out there and how easy it is for us to tag things what they're not, we easily tend to find ourselves in those situations where we feel like, oh, this person is being manipulative, this person is gaslighting me. Like, people use words that they don't even know the meaning. They don't even know the meaning.
But what if the person is actually gaslighting and manipulating?
Yeah, there are cases like that. That's why when I said earlier, I said be able to identify them.
Okay.
Not based on past experience, not based on momentary happenings, but be able to identify a pattern and know that, yeah, this is how this person is. This thing is happening because this person is this way. Okay. Not because this person did this, not because this happened.
Okay. All right. So some people say consistency is a green flag, but in today's world where many are still figuring themselves out, is it fair to expect stability early in dating?
It depends on how you define consistency, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a green flag. Yeah, but consistency in terms of communication, in terms of communication and showing up, yeah, a person can actually communicate and be able to communicate well and show up even while you're still trying to figure out yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is unfair and unreal to expect that person to be stable. I don't know if you get what I am saying. It is unfair and unreal to expect that person to be stable while they are still trying to figure out themselves. And it doesn't even matter if it's still the early stage or later stage. As we go on, we're expected to, that's what is expected when you meet someone. That's what you're supposed to expect from them. That they are not absolutes.
True.
They're not perfect. Understand that they are not perfect. And as you go on, you should be willing to learn and unlearn. And you yourself should be willing to learn and unlearn. It's a two-way thing. So expecting them to always be able to get everything right, that's unfair. That's unfair, and it's not going to work out well.
Okay. So that means even if the person can communicate, can show up, can do every other thing that we expect a partner to do, and the person is not stable, that means it's still a red flag.
I didn't say that. I did not say that. A person could communicate, but for stuff like, like I said earlier, their knowledge, you do not expect their knowledge to be absolute. You don't expect them to know everything. So there are certain things that you would expect that they do not know. Now it's up to them to be ready to learn to work with that. I myself, I have been in a relationship where I was selfish.
Men are always selfish, so it's not new.
I'm going to let that slide, but don't repeat it. Anyways, I have been in a relationship where I was selfish, and I didn't even know it. Like I didn't realize this until after the relationship has ended.
Okay, and the person didn't tell you. You guys didn't discuss it.
We didn't discuss it. I was selfish all the way. It ended, and as I went on meeting new people, on learning and learning, and in hindsight, I was able to understand that I wasn't fair to this person.
Did you apologize?
Oh yes, I did. I could not live with my conscience at that point. The moment I began to realize this, I couldn't live with my conscience, and that was when we actually had a proper conversation on that relationship. Okay. So you should be expecting you on your own. You should be ready to learn. Yeah, that's what is expected of you. Yeah, that's what is expected of you. Consistency based on communication, that's a bare minimum. It's something you should do. Yeah.
All right, so how much of what we consider red flags are based on gender roles or past trauma?
A lot, actually. A whole lot.
Okay.
Yeah. While these things may actually be red flags, sometimes, this is actually even referencing back to what I said earlier, sometimes we tend to judge people based off the knowledge we already have. Not of them, but maybe from past experiences. That we find ourselves, and it's normal. It's human. It's a human nature. It's a default state for the first instinct of every human is self-preservance, survival. So it's normal that when you find yourself in a situation where you've been before and it threw you off balance, it's normal that you tend to try to defend yourself, try to protect yourself. But another part of the human is to be able to think, to be able to reason. So you're supposed to question those things. Is this person really like this? Or am I projecting my trauma on them?
So is financial status still a fair red flag or green flag? Or are we disguising materialism as standard? This one that you laugh.
This is I feel like this debate has not ended. It started a long time ago and it has not ended.
And it's not ending anytime
It's most likely not going to end here. It's not going to end here. But for that, I have some few points I want to highlight on that.
Okay.
Though. Yes, finances is important.
Very.
It's important, but it is also right to be able to draw the line, to be able to tell the difference between looking out for financial stability and materialism. Like, for example, being able to I will place financial stability on, or yeah, being able to calculate, being able to discipline yourself. If you find yourself someone who is able to navigate through financial dealings,
Yeah.
and know that this is for this, and make plans and be able to discipline, yeah, that's okay. But putting it to the point where you say, I can't date this guy because he's not driving a flashy car, or because he's not earning 7 figures a month. Yeah, I feel like that's unfair, and that's not okay.
Unfair to.
That's unfair to yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, you setting that standard,
Okay.
and unfair to the person too.
Okay. Okay.
You sound like you do not agree with me.
No, go on, please. I don't need to agree with you, right? I don't need to agree with you. Well, go on.
I feel like my point is being attacked by that. Okay,
No,
okay.
I'm not. No,
Like
I'm concurring to what you're saying.
Are you sure?
No, that does not mean I'm
Are you-
attacking your point. But are you saying so? How do you, if there is no finances, relationship doesn't work?
That's exactly what I think that's what I just said.
No, you said a girl will not agree to a guy if he's not driving he's not driving flashy cars, or is not earning 7 figures.
Yeah.
Right. Now there's a saying that when money dey, na love dey sweet. I mean, something like that. So I'm not saying that money must be there for love to exist, right? But you and I know that if there is no money, even you will not be comfortable with yourself.
I'm not disputing the fact that money is an important factor.
Okay.
It is actually, and I think I just said that it is important, but knowing
When to manage.
yeah, understanding that it doesn't have to be a whole lot.
Okay.
A whole lot. It doesn't have to be a steady trip to, and this also goes back to the whole social media stuff, because now there is a lot of stuff out there on how a perfect relationship should be. So people tend to hold themselves up to this expectation and this standard, while they're not even trying to live up to it.
Yeah.
They're not even doing the work.
I agree with that. Oh yeah. Okay, let's talk about bare minimum energy. Have modern dating standard dropped, or are people just tired of performing?
It's both, actually.
Okay.
It has dropped, and people are also tired of performing.
Okay.
In terms of being tired of performing, you find that there are a lot of people out there who has gone through a whole lot of talking stage. Like sometimes you find you find tweets online where they say, my next talking stage, you ask me about myself, I'll send you PDF because I'm tired. I just have it there. People are tired of the whole going back to the beginning, performing. What's your favorite color? Yeah, what type of bread do you like? Do you wake up at 9 to 8 a.m.? You know, people are tired, so they tend to be lazy. They get lazy over time, and they just feel like when they meet new people, they don't feel the.
That's because you meet new person and you guys are vibing. Within 2 weeks or 1 month, you guys become strangers. So I won't blame people for just, when someone starts talking to them, the next minute they're just, they're laid back. They don't want to put in that energy, that work, because they feel they already have it in their mind that within 2 days or thereabout, this person will become a stranger.
Well, don't you think that's unfair to yourself? Not even to the person you're talking to. It's unfair. Don't you think it's unfair to yourself?
It is, but also people are trying to protect themselves from being hurt, right? People are trying to protect themselves from being hurt, because what's the essence of getting to know someone and the next minute you guys are strangers?
Well, in protecting yourself from being hurt, I feel like you're creating a cycle, because now you have given yourself a reason not to communicate when you find someone, then treating the person the same way you were treated, that you felt bad enough to not communicate.
Yeah.
So that's creating a cycle around it.
Okay.
And to put an end to that cycle, you need to show up. I feel like
what about if this other party is not showing up?
If this other party is not showing up, okay. let me use myself an example.
Please go ahead.
You know how I said earlier that I was a bit selfish with a relationship. Later, I got to learn and unlearn. A part of it was communication, actually, where she was trying to communicate. She was trying to keep the communication. And myself, on the other end, I kept showing up with excuses. I can't do this.
Always.
I can't be talking and all that. But after the relationship going on, I got to meet someone who, it was an issue, actually, because, this is something I still have inside me. But I was able to open up and put in the effort.
Okay, so, sorry, I want to ask you, before you started, did you let this person know that you were bad in communicating?
She knew.
She knew.
She saw it, she noticed it, and I said it. I mentioned it, I am terrible with communicating. I'm terrible with communicating, and it's not, and when, communication helps a lot. Because at some point she started feeling like, is it that am I doing too much? Am I forcing myself on you? Because one moment you're like this, and the next thing you don't even talk to me. I send you a message and all that.
Don't reply.
So from that point, so I think it's like a two-party effort.
Yeah.
On one side, you're the one who understands that this is important. On the other side, this person needs to understand that it's also important, and you have to teach the person. You have to.
Why am I teaching a grown adult how to communicate?
Like I said earlier, you do not expect the person's knowledge to be absolute.
True.
Yeah.
But when it comes to communication, it's not something I should teach you. If you're getting into a relationship, or you're about to get into a relationship, let's call it committed relationship, you should know that these are basic things that you should do. I shouldn't come and start teaching you how to communicate, right? Are you are you short of words?
Oh, not really.
Okay.
Not entirely, but you should actually. You should be ready to. Yeah, when you want to understand that we did not grow up the same. Yeah, we're not raised the same. You might even be in the same house with your siblings, and you find that there are some traits that you have that they do not have.
True.
There are some social traits you have that they do not have. You guys grow up under the same roof, the same circumstances, the same way, the same parents, but you turn that different. So saying that because a grown adult does not know how to communicate means that you shouldn't put in the effort. Because if you feel like it's worth it, and you see that this person is a person that is ready to learn, this person is a person that is ready to learn to adjust, is ready to adjust, then why not?
So
I mean, relationship is all about growth.
So for how long will you keep teaching this person?
If the person is ready to learn, then it's something. You shouldn't focus on the absolute results.
Okay.
But rather pay attention to the
effort,
progress.
Okay.
Progress.
Okay.
Like for myself now, I'm still terrible with communication. Yes, I am. So to an extent, I am, but I am way better than I was.
Okay. All right. Moving forward. What do you think is one major green flag that most people ignore, especially women, because it's not loud or flashy?
I think it's I think there should be emotional compatibility.
Okay.
Yeah. Most times people feel like a relationship needs to be dramatic. Yeah.
I agree.
I have found myself in situations where I was in a relationship, and out of nowhere, I'm just going to, I will just notice the pattern. And this is not like the monthly stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm sure you know what I mean by that.
I don't.
Okay, don't worry. You're going to realize. I'm sure they do know what I mean. And this is not like the monthly stuff.
Okay.
They just, out of nowhere, you notice this behavior, like this person is trying to stir up trouble. Yeah, he's trying to stir up trouble, and you start to wonder what's happening.
Yeah.
It starts setting you up for like rage baits. It starts setting you up to get angry, and then you go on. You ask what's happening, and then the next thing she says is, "It's been too quiet."
Have you ever experienced that?
I'm talking from experience, personal experience.
Wow.
It's been too quiet. We haven't quarreled in a long time.
Wow.
What's happening? Don't you like me enough anymore?
So that means people just like
And that's
drama.
popular, actually.
Well,
It's popular. It is. It is. It's popular. People just they don't. Sometimes you find that when, especially like you said, especially for the women, you find that when they come with their problems and you give solutions, they don't want solution.
what do they
They tell
want?
you, I don't want solution. That's not what I came to you for.
Okay.
I came for empathy, for you to just tell me it's okay, sorry, it's okay, though, calm down.
If that's what the person wants, then it's fine.
But I'm giving you solution. If there's a problem, don't you want it to go away?
Of course. Well, if the person said they want empathy, then
Of course,
give them
yeah.
empathy.
Of course, empathy is good, but I've given you solution now. Let me just move on from the problem.
Okay. So my last question before I let you off the hook. What do you think are some healthy ways singles can date intentionally without getting lost in social media hype or trauma responses? And what are your solutions to dating smarter in this generation?
Well, one way to not get lost in social media hype is it's very obvious, very clear. Stop letting social media standard define your relationship and what's a good relationship to be like. Stop letting those reels, those 30-second reels, 1 minute reel, define how your partner should be.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, be able to identify, yes, there are toxic people. Let's not dispute that there are toxic people out there. Let's not dispute that there are toxic people out there. But be able to identify if a person is actually toxic or if it's just a mistake. Because mistake happens. And I feel like people have forgotten that mistake happens because of the whole pop psychology stuff all around. They forget that we are humans and we are subject to mistake. So when a person makes the slightest mistake, they just tag it to something.
Yeah.
So let's understand that our partners are humans, we are humans. And sometimes, this is often overlooked. Sometimes we are red flags to ourselves. Not even red flags to
There's a question I
who we are.
wanted to ask you before this last question. Please, so hold your thought on that. I wanted to ask, right, what are the red flags for you now? What are the red flag or green flag you look out for when you want to start dating? Like say you meet a girl and you want to, get to know the person. What are the red flags you look out for? Or what are the things that you tag as red flags?
Well, some of the basic things I tag as red flag that are easily noticeable is a person who, obviously, from the conversation, I think that's you should figure out already. A person who's not ready to learn.
Okay.
A person who doesn't understand that they are humans and they don't know it all. They're bound to make mistakes. And one other thing I look out for, it shouldn't be, I was about to call it petty, but it's not petty. If you don't love yourself, if you don't love yourself, I will stay away from you because it's draining. Actually,
yeah, it is.
It's draining because I am never, because you're not, how are you so sure you love me? You can't be sure. You can't really know if you love me or you're just with me because I make you feel good. I make you feel good about yourself. So you have to love yourself. Be able to feel good about yourself by yourself. Before I come close to you. When I come close and I notice that you don't have that self-love for yourself, I tend to withdraw myself from you because I feel like you're not going to see my love as love.
You can't really love someone when you don't love yourself.
Not just even loving me, me loving you. You're not going to see it as love. You're going to see it from an angle of pity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're going to see it from an angle of pity because you feel like I am not enough. You're always telling yourself I am not enough. So every little thing, you're going to be agitated. He's leaving me. After all, he's with me. He's with me out of pity. So it's very easy for so and so person to take him away. So,
Okay.
and I'm going to find myself constantly, and it's draining, constantly trying to prove my love to you, which is not a problem, but shouldn't be something I need to do, like something I feel like if I don't do this thing.
But is it bad when you reassure your partner?
Yeah, assurance is different from trying to prove that. Yeah, trying to convince you, not even trying to convince you that I am in love with you.
Oh, okay.
I could try all the thing in this life, and it's never going to be enough. Because you're lacking it inside you.
Wow. Okay, so it brings me back to the last question, what we were talking about before this, which is what are your solutions to dating smarter in this generation?
Yeah, I mentioned not looking out for social media, not allowing social media. Not
comparing your relationship.
Social media define your relationship. Why there are good informations out there, be able to put a balance to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I have this friend. I have known her for the longest time. We're just friends. I have known her for the longest time, but over time I got to realize a behavior that she adopted.
Okay.
She adopted this behavior where she has narrowed her thoughts down to the gender fight.
Oh. Okay.
Everything she tagged it toxic masculinity. Yeah, and it's tiring. And when I got to because I was away from her for a while.
Okay.
So when I got to interact with her again, I noticed something that her social media, she has viewed her social media to the point where the algorithm only recommend negative reels to her.
Wow.
In negative reels, she doesn't see it as negative. She sees it as a warning, telling you men do not like you. A man does not want you to succeed. A man does not want you to do better than he does. Yes, there are people out there who are like that, but feeding yourself with just that information is very bad. It's draining. Yeah, it's like the concept of the yellow elephants, like telling you don't think of a yellow elephant. And now you're thinking of a yellow elephant. But I told you not to think of it. So why are you thinking of it? So that's just how it is. The fact that it's a warning does not mean it's not affecting you negatively.
Yeah.
So you can't. So I can't even have a normal conversation with her without her telling me I'm mansplaining. I am trying to control. I might be trying to protect her. We might be walking on the road, and I take her to the other side, and she tells me, "Why are you controlling me?" So it's draining. So you just have to be careful, with her, the type of knowledge you feed yourself.
So,
yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. MJ, for being honest and for being here today. These conversations are not always easy, but they are necessary. Now, to you watching or listening at home, we want to hear from you. What are your number one red flag or green flag in dating? Drop it in the comment or tag us with your take using Gender Corner. I am your host, Emilia. Until next time, remember, love is not a game. It's a mirror. Know your worth, do the inner work, and date with your eyes and heart open. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.